The following feature presentation is part of the Skywalking Network.
This is what you can look forward to on episode 259 of Skywalking Through Neverland. We saw the maestro of the movies, John Williams himself, in concert.
And what is the website to liningup.net?
We have now raised about $117,000 for them.
Wow. Now, put a couple of bucks in the till and get in line.
The news came out, but I still think that's rumor. They did make a point to say kids and adults.
And while this might be the end of the Skywalker saga, it's not the end of Star Wars films.
Are you ready?
Off to Neverland!
Here we go!
A long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away.
To all who come to this happy place, welcome. Disneyland is your land.
When I first made Star Wars, everybody in Hollywood said, well, this is a movie Disney should have made.
You're more than just fans. You're family.
Best day ever!
Secrets lab.
It's about family, and that's what's so powerful about it.
Hey.
When you use a bird to write with, it's called tweeting.
When we visit the world of Disney, we never grow old. It's a Peter Pan, Never land that keeps us young in heart.
This is Jedi Master Obi-Wan Kenobi, and you are skywalking through Neverland. I have a good feeling about this.
Hey, Skywalkers! Are you ready to hear from the movers and shakers from D23 Expo? If you are, then you've come to the right podcast. But first, we want to welcome you all to Skywalking Through Neverland. We are your podcast destination for the many decades of your Star Wars, Disney, and Marvel fandom. I am Richard Woloski. Now, everyone, please say hello to my sweetie wife, Sarah, who just said that she needs a nap. But she can't right now because we are recording.
We are recording, so I'm putting my voice higher than it feels because we need to be fun and happy for the podcast recording.
Yeah, it's not you, it's the 97 degrees in this room.
It is. Oh, it's very hot.
It just knocks you out.
But we're going to ignore that, and we're going to have an awesome episode for you guys. Now, speaking of awesome episodes, we need to start every episode with a big Wookiee hug. For our family of Skywalkers, we want to thank you all for listening to the show. If this is your first time, welcome. You are now a Skywalker. And we want to thank all of you if you're coming back. Well, you're a repeat Skywalker, I guess. And also, if you're watching us live right now, then you are now
a SkyTuber.
A SkyTuber. What's happening with the bunnies back there?
Something just fell. I don't know. Well, let's welcome these SkyTubers right over here and tell everyone that we are recording from Long Beach, California on September the 4th, 2019. Minnie, how hot is it out?
Minnie's stuck on YouTube. What's happening?
Okay, just do the voice. Oh. Shh, no one will know.
Okay.
Minnie, how hot is it outside right now? Or how hot is it in this room right now?
It's 96 degrees. Huh? Oh, my.
Well, thank you, Minnie. Thank you very much. Now, Minnie, who is sponsoring this particular Skywalking Through Neverland episode?
Well, we are proudly sponsored by Small World Vacations, and they are a diamond-level Disney vacation planner travel agency, and they can help you book your trip to Disney parks and Disney destinations around the world. And best of all, their service is free of charge. So head to smallworldvacations.com for a no-obligation price quote and tell them Skywalking Through Neverland sent you.
And now is the time because, like we said before, Galaxy's Edge just opened in Orlando. And so that's where we're going. So we're going to call Small World Vacations.
Yes,
we could use them right now. Coming in a few weeks, we'll be podcasting from Walt Disney World in Florida.
Woohoo!
Yes. And thank you to smallworldvacations.com. Now, coming up on this episode, we have a discussion with Imagineers working on Avengers Campus at Disney's California Adventure. And we had a very, very insightful talk with the creators behind ILMxLAB's Vader Immortal Episode 2.
Then Skywalker Ric Peralta announces liningup.net's new Rise of Skywalker line info. And we also have some shout-outs, but now, here are Things we want to share.
Things we want to share. Things we want to share. things we want to share.
Things we want to share, Richard.
We just saw John Williams again at the Hollywood Bowl
Woohoo!
last
August 31st.
August 31st.
On Saturday. Yeah, we made the trek to the Hollywood Bowl along with a few Skywalkers. And oh my goodness, we saw the maestro of the movies, John Williams himself, in concert.
Welcome to this special and magic place, the Hollywood Bowl. And I've been designated host this evening. And I think it's, at this hour at least, incumbent on any host to offer a toast. So, I don't have a drink, many of you do. But I will offer a toast to our very beloved Los Angeles Philharmonic Orchestra, which is celebrating its 100th birthday. Which I say to the orchestra is a very good start.
As always, it was amazing and fun, and I can't believe how much he changes up with every single concert.
Well, it's awesome because he's still working. He's still, like, he did music. He composed music to Galaxy's Edge. He composed music to Solo, a Star Wars story. And so we got tracks from these, you know, he doesn't just stick with the old favorites like Jurassic Park or Star
E.T.
Wars.
or Raiders.
Right. Or Indiana Jones. Yeah. Raiders, but yeah, he'll do some of his new stuff. So we got to hear Galaxy's Edge in concert.
That was so exciting because it's a Disney park theme played at a John Williams concert. It's just something that's so out of the normal that excited me going in because, like I was just saying, every time you see a John Williams concert, he changes something up. Now he's playing Galaxy's Edge. He didn't play anything from The Rise of Skywalker, but, you know, he couldn't. But he's working on it right now. In fact, let's play a little clip from when he mentioned how excited we're going to be with The Rise of Skywalker.
This has been 40 years since that film started. And you know George Lucas, who's the director and creator of all of this. When we first made the film, I think it was 1976 or 7, none of us had any inclination that there would be a second Star Wars film of any kind. And George Lucas always wrote his scripts on a little yellow pad and with a pen. It was just that simple. And I really don't think he also knew that there was going to be a second film at that time. And now I'm working with J.J. Abrams on the 9th episode. Disney is promising that will be the last episode. So JJ and I are trying to put a nice bouquet on it. And I think, without seeming too commercial, I must say to you, I think you will enjoy this film very much that he's doing.
Yay! It was so fun to hear him talk about that and to know that this movie's coming, composed by John Williams. The Rise of Skywalker, to me, is John Williams' finale to this symphony that he's been creating for 77, 87... Oh my God, 42 years. Holy buckets.
Now, do you want to... We know JJ is going to give us a whole ton of fan service, and I can't thank him enough for that. Do you think John Williams will give us fan service by rolling in so many of the past themes into the Rise of Skywalker soundtrack?
I mean, I hope so. He's like created this music library of themes for Star Wars, and if it makes sense to add them in, I think he should. Like, I do believe he added a bunch of themes in Revenge of the Sith. You know, you have a lot of recurring themes in that film, and at that time, that was the finale.
Yeah, he added, I think, a little too many in Attack of the Clones, where it didn't really fit, and it stuck out more than helped a scene.
Okay.
So I'm really hoping with the fan service that JJ is going to give us, he's going to roll in the themes to enhance what JJ is giving us.
Right. Especially if we get the Emperor back in some form.
Oh, exactly. We're
to hear the Emperor's theme again. To hear that dark, the men's choir.
Right.
Oh, the men's chorus. Yeah, that would be amazing.
Yeah, and just so, like you were saying, so many themes he's got for all these Star Wars characters. If they mention Han Solo, will they roll in a little bit of his Han Solo theme from Solo: A Star Wars Story? Oh my goodness. You know what? I'll need to go to the projection room, stop the projector, and just think about that. And just well up with tears if he does that.
Oh. Well,
so
speaking...
That's what I'm hoping for, okay?
Okay.
All right, but now let's talk about John Williams in concert.
Well, speaking of welling up with tears, Richard, was there any moments in the John Williams in concert program here at the Hollywood Bowl that like really had you, any moving moments for you?
He pulled out his shushing finger again, he did at Star Wars Celebration Orlando a couple of years ago when the crowd saw him, went crazy, and he had to turn around and shush everyone, and in unison, everyone just fell silent.
Oh yeah, and the Hollywood Bowl is a lot bigger venue than that room in Celebration Orlando was, and we shut up in about 1.5 seconds.
Yeah, he turned around and just held up his finger, and everyone just was quiet.
Yeah.
Because he comes out on stage, and you can't help but be emotional, reactionary. People were yelling, "I love you, Johnny."
Yeah.
So he just wanted to play his music, and he appreciated all that. But it's funny to see him pull out his again.
Well, this was for the encore, the first encore, and by doing that, by shushing everyone, then he started the first encore, which was Yoda's theme. And to me, this was a moving moment in the concert because for one thing, like Yoda's theme is kind of one of my least favorite themes of all the Star Wars themes. Like, it's not to say I don't like it. It's just there's so many other great themes. You know, it kind of falls lower on the totem pole for me. So I've never been a big, like, oh, I must listen to Yoda's theme. Yay. But he played Yoda's theme, and there was a flute soloist in there, and they did a close-up of her on the camera. You know, like the camera did a close-up of her as she's doing her solo, and she was like playing it, and then she closed her eyes, and then she ended the phrase, and there was like this hush, and then everyone in the audience clapped for her flute solo, like before the movement was over. And I don't know what it was about this solo, but she just totally brought the soul to it, and I was so moved by this version of Yoda's theme. And the way it was played, it was just gorgeous. It was the most moving Yoda's theme I had ever heard in my life.
I love the fact that they have these big jumbotrons, so you can see the orchestra. And I love to see how these musical instruments all come together to make this awesome emotional sound. And they had a lot of great close-ups on these solos. So for some of the flute solos, the trumpet solos,
the oboe solos, the French
so
horn
you can really
solos.
see what instrument goes with what sound and how they're playing this. That is another great moment and one of the best reasons to go to the Hollywood Bowl, because you can see the music in the making.
Well, yeah, they played Luke and Leia's theme, and that starts, you know, with the horn solo, and then she passes it to the flute, and then the oboe, and yeah, so like all of those, we got to see them all play. It was really neat.
Yeah, and for a high point, Galaxy's Edge. Definitely Galaxy's Edge, because you're playing Galaxy's Edge, and to us, Galaxy's Edge is like a whole new movie opening, since we get the chance to go to Galaxy's Edge as many times as we would go to see a new Star Wars movie. But it wasn't John Williams conducting the orchestra for this part. It was David Newman.
That was kind of a surprise.
Yeah, and so every year when John Williams is at the Hollywood Bowl, he always comes with his pal, David Newman, and David Newman does a whole... the first half of the concert is all dedicated to old-time Hollywood, which is always fun. But then David Newman came back and did the first half of the second half of the set. So let's just say 2/3 of the concert was David Newman, a third by John Williams.
Although John Williams did come out on stage very first thing before David Newman, and he was designated the host of the concert, as in the program, and he mentions this and says, well, as host, I think we should raise a toast. And then he said, I know, I don't have a drink, but I know many of you do. It was really funny.
And we did.
Yes. Oh, yes. But, yeah, so that was cool to see him right away, because usually they make you wait until the second half of the concert to see John Williams, but he was right there. We're like, yay, John Williams. So.
And another high point was going there with more Skywalkers.
Yeah.
Every year we go with Skywalkers. We went with Kai Charles, Margaret Mays, Christopher Marino, So it's a good time, and I'm so glad these Skywalkers live in the Los Angeles area.
Absolutely. Well, another high point of the concert for me was Jurassic Park, because they played the Jurassic Park theme to the opening scene where they see the dinosaurs for the first time. And to me, that scene just always gets me every time. And then after that, the music went into Journey to the Island, that track, which is the da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And they played a whole montage of Jurassic Park on the video screen when they were doing that. So I thought that was a great mashup, and it really got me into the Jurassic Park mood. All right, well, if you guys want to see this John Williams at the Hollywood Bowl concert from this year, we recorded some video, and it is up on our YouTube channel right now. So we have all of the major John Williams themes up there. So it's about an hour long video, 53 minutes or so. Mm-hmm. And it's really amazing. And it includes some of the talks that John Williams said. And he's so eloquent. I just love to hear John Williams. So.
Yeah. Stacy Bertram, as a SkyTuber, said, "So thankful you recorded some of it for me and others to enjoy."
Aw, yeah. So it's right there on YouTube. And for those of you who are part of the Skywalking Force, or if you want to become part of the Skywalking Force, we took our binaural microphones and recorded the entire concert. So all 2.5 hours of it. And it is now up as an extra episode on Skywalking Force. You can hear us. You can come along to the concert with us. We even have some intermission in there for you.
And as a special bonus, you get to hear Sarah yelling at people behind us.
Yeah, that too.
Hey guys, you gotta be quiet for the Star Wars part, okay? The John Williams part.
Anyway, yes. Yes, that's true. So, so if you want to, head to skywalkingforce.com to check that one out.
All right, now let's continue our D23 Expo coverage with Avengers Campus.
Okay, one of the great things about D23 Expo is the show floor, and the booths are always so upscale and amazing. I love to wander through the show floor. So the Disney Parks has their own big booth. It's called the Disney Parks Pavilion, and here you can talk with actual Imagineers about upcoming projects. So this year they were showcasing Avengers Campus, Epcot, and also the Galactic Starcruiser, which is the Star Wars hotel coming. So we spoke with John Mauro, who is an executive producer at Walt Disney Imagineering, about what to expect at Avengers Campus coming in 2020 to DCA.
And when we started talking with him, I was a little thrown off because he was talking in universe as if this were really set up by Tony Stark.
You think you're the only superhero in the world? Mr. Stark, you become part of a bigger universe.
Avengers, time to work for a living.
Well, we're so excited. We are at D23 Expo. We're at Avengers Campus, and we're here with Imagineer John Mauro. Now, John, can you give us your actual title at Imagineering?
Yes, I am executive producer at Walt Disney Imagineering. We have been partnering with the Avengers, Tony Stark and Stark Industries, and the rest of these great organizations to help develop these campuses for our guests, for the future heroes of tomorrow. So that's what we're really excited about. We've developed and worked with the WEB organization, which is brand new to many of the fans. It's the Worldwide Engineering Brigade, and it's about showcasing the next inventors of tomorrow. So they'll be at the Avengers Campus showcasing their latest inventions and what they can present to us on display. Again, it's all about how can we sort of improve and better mankind.
So Tony Stark is really looking for the next wave of Avengers, and if he's going to do it, he's going to come to Disneyland.
Somewhere in California to an undisclosed place.
Oh, right.
Okay, we won't say it's Disney's California Adventure, not Disneyland.
No, not yet, not yet. Now, you say you work with Tony Stark. Now, have you met Tony Stark? And how is it? What is he like?
He is the guy you imagine him to be, right? He is a character, and he is a genius, and he just wants to, as I said, down deep, he just wants to make us all better, make us all heroic in our own way.
Now, what will some of the training aspects be at Avengers Campus?
It is a great opportunity. A campus, just like a college campus, it's a way for all these different entities and organizations that all sort of live in one place for one purpose. So it's the same idea with an Avengers campus. So not only will you see Web, which I just mentioned, but you'll see the Avengers, you'll see S.H.I.E.L.D., you'll see a Wakanda outpost, you'll see right here PIM Technologies, which you may have been familiar with Ant-Man and the Wasp. They grow and shrink things. Well, in this case, wouldn't it be great if you could use that technology to grow food that could help feed the world, or maybe shrink garbage, which would help obviously improve sustainability. So it's those kind of great ideas and messages that sort of lay the foundation for the campus. But then with anything, with the Avengers, anything can happen, right? So you never know when you might see your hero flying through the air or fighting a villain nearby.
All right, so I have a question. Sure. This campus, will it be geared toward adults, or will it be part of it geared toward kids? Because I heard this campus is taking over a place that we used to be known as Bugs Land, which was very geared towards kids.
I think the great thing about these characters is, and honestly these stories, is they appeal to everybody, right? Like, I love Spider-Man, you love Spider-Man, I love Doctor Strange, I love Ant-Man, and I think kids do, adults do. It's really something for everybody, and I think that's what has made it so exciting to be able to bring it now to our guests. So
I'm sure wanting to really appeal to all the kids, and all the kids love Howard the Duck. So how will he be represented?
Well, I can't tell you exactly who will show up any day in the campus, but the great thing about it is Avengers and these heroes live in our world today, and it's meant to be a place where they can come and go over time. So the more that we learn about new characters, new Avengers, new heroes, they could have a home here in the future as well. So that's the great thing about this place. But again, some of our favorites that we've already been seeing around, Spider-Man, you're going to see Black Panther,
Captain Marvel,
which I know has already been appearing in California. Yeah. So certainly all those favorites that we've been seeing over the last few years will now have one home that they can live at. So you'll know there's always a place you can go to find them.
Now, will Avengers Campus be integrated with Mission Breakout?
It will appear right next to it. Tanner Tavan, our collector, had a little bit of a head start getting there, and he's got his stake in the ground. But not to worry, the rest of the Avengers will be there soon.
Okay, right, very nice.
Thank you very much, John Mauro. Much appreciated. And can you give us an idea of when we're going to see Avengers Campus?
So in California, it'll be opening next year. And as I mentioned, all the details are yet to come tomorrow, so stay tuned.
All right. Now, can you look right over here and Hulk out with us? Ready? Whoa! Hulk smash! Hulk smash! Hulk smash! And he did it too. Now, we couldn't get that many details because they were doing a presentation the next day at the Disney Parks panel.
Right. But we did learn a lot there in that talk that I did not know. I mean, we had no details to Avengers Campus. All we know is when we walk through DCA, we see those, the walls that have Avengers? Stark Industries. Thank you. Yes.
Yeah. Now, to get more information on Avengers Campus, you can go back to our YouTube channel to see the whole presentation at the Disney Parks panel.
Yeah, I have a whole playlist on YouTube of D23 Expo 2019. So check that out. That's where all our YouTube videos for D23 Expo are.
All right, next we spoke with Erica Charlassier, another Imagineer, about another exciting entry in the immersive Star Wars entertainment field, and that is the Galactic Starcruiser.
Woohoo! AKA the Star Wars Hotel. Which, until people get Galactic Starcruiser in their brains, we're just going to have to keep saying Star Wars Hotel. All right, we're back at D23 Expo, and right now we're standing in front of the Star Line, and we're going to learn a little bit more about this from Erica. Erica, can you please give us your Imagineering title?
So I'm an associate project manager on this project. I'm one of the project managers, so as a role as a project manager, I'm responsible for the scope, the schedule, overall budget of the job itself, and making sure we give exactly what we promised to our guests. This is the Star Wars Galactic Starcruiser. We recently just released the name, so it's kind of a hybrid, if you will, between a resort and a cruise. Some people know it as the Star Wars Hotel. We prefer to call it more of a immersive experience, if you will. So this is coming to Walt Disney World. And it's a 2-night, 3-day experience. It's very immersive. There's lots of interactives. So the idea is that guests would come and load onto a launch pod. You would be launched into space. You would board the Halcyon, which you see here, and then it would take off and you would experience your Star Wars adventure.
Is this part of the Republic?
So we can't really talk about where exactly this lies in the Star Wars universe as of yet, but you will find out more details soon.
And what is the Halcyon? What is that the...
So the Halcyon is the name of our Star Cruiser, so that's a part of the Chandrila Star Line.
Oh, and I just noticed the Millennium Falcon for scale right there. That's pretty cool. So this is going to be gigantic. And will it be next to Walt Disney Hollywood Studios?
We can't say exactly what location it will be at, but it will be within proximity of the park.
And I know some information was just released on the pricing. Can you go over that?
Actually, we haven't released any information on the pricing as of yet. So we're still working through all of those details, and it'll be on the Disney Parks blog once we announce any price.
Okay. Now, will we see any characters from the Ewok Adventure movies in there somewhere?
Once again, we can't say exactly what characters you might encounter as of yet, but more information to come.
Holiday special? Battle for Endor? Can you give us something here?
You should see some characters through the reel, and those are some you may encounter.
All right, now when I realized we weren't going to get that much from her, I asked her about other characters who will be walking around, maybe some characters from the Ewok Adventure or Ewok's Battle for Endor, and I said that because our good friend Eric Walker was holding the camera. He was video recording us talking with her. So I'm just throwing something in there just to maybe get her off guard.
Yeah.
So she would say more than what's released in the press release.
No, she was on press release.
Yeah, asked her about the Star Wars Holiday Special. Now, I asked her about the pricing too, because I had seen many articles a day or two beforehand about the pricing. And I just looked online, and there's many articles saying that according to news out of D23, a cabin on the Star Cruiser, which sleeps 5, starts at $3,300. But when I asked her about pricing, she said, "Oh, no, we haven't announced anything."
No.
But
yeah, well, the news came out, but I still think that's a rumor because they never announced anything at the Disney Parks panel, like in terms of pricing, and that's where they would have announced it.
No, I mean online. There was so many articles online about the pricing. Yeah, it could have been rumors.
But if it's not from the Disney Parks blog, it's not.
It's not canon.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, I'm just wondering how on these sites they got the figure of $3,300, and I thought that was gospel. I'd seen this on many respectable sites, so I figured, okay, this must be it. But you know what? I guess it wasn't. So I didn't press on that because, like, oh, okay, I need to go back and do more research.
Yeah. Well, okay.
All right, now let's go over some of these names here. Now, the Star Cruiser you board to begin your 3 days, 2-night stay, that's called the Halcyon. Okay,
right.
The Halcyon is the Star Cruiser, which is part of the Chandrila Starline Company. Now, they had all these names. They had Chandrila, they had Galactic Starcruiser.
Right.
They had Halcyon. So
it's like, what do we call this thing?
Okay, now what is this? Okay, so the Halcyon is the Star Cruiser, which is part of the Chandrila Starline Company.
Okay.
We were talking with her, and all these names were flipping around because they had just announced these names. So it's like, oh, okay, we see like 4 or 5 names up there. What do we call this thing? And whenever we called it the Star Wars Hotel, they didn't appreciate it. All right, now some of the activities involved, and I really hope they stick with this. From the press release, it says, kids and grown-ups alike will get to face off against a training remote in lightsaber training, just like Luke aboard the Millennium Falcon in the original film.
Awesome.
Reaching within and discovering any connection to the Force could prove valuable, it says in italics.
What?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. There will also be hidden spaces on the ship to meet characters, having secret conversations, and planning sessions.
So there's going to be a line to meet characters in secret locations. That's not going to be
they better
secret.
come through with this.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, they showed some of the concept art, and you see Twi'leks serving food and stuff.
Yeah, we saw Chewie running around and kids fighting against remotes. So this better be for adults too, because if we're paying $3,300, I'm going to fight all the remotes that I can.
I agree. But I am they did make a point to say kids and adults. And so I was very excited about that. I know, but I'm very excited about that. And for you guys, we did record this whole presentation at the Disney Parks panel, and that also is up on our YouTube channel. So make sure to check out youtube.com/Skywalking Through Neverland.
All right, now, Sarah, speaking of immersive Star Wars entertainment, Skywalker Matt Clifton, he sent us a trip report from his recent visit to Galaxy's Edge.
On the East Coast.
Hey, Richard and Sarah. Hey, Skywalkers. Matt Clifton here. And I just visited Galaxy's Edge in Walt Disney World, Orlando, Florida. Wow. The level of immersion, detail, and just everything about it, absolutely astounding. I couldn't believe it. Every nook and cranny of that place tells a story. The Easter eggs are infinite. You could wander around for hours and not see everything. Take it from me. I spent 8 hours there and I still feel like I didn't see enough. And the food and snacks were great. Moof juice is a must. The Ronto wraps were delicious. I get them again. Green milk and blue milk over green milk. I wasn't a big fan of the green milk. And the popcorn was really good, actually. It kind of tasted like Fruit Loops a little bit. Doc Ondar's shop was absolutely amazing. So many Easter eggs and so many awesome products for sale. The Droid Depot was really cool. Didn't get to go into Sevi's workshop. I will next time. Oga's Cantina was so awesome. So much fun. A little small, but very, very, very cool. Awesome drinks. I had the Fuzzy Tauntaun, which actually makes your lips numb and tingle. So don't be afraid if you have that and that happens. And the beers are great. Really love the little things that happened, like the interaction between the First Order troopers and just guests and watching that unfold, or Rey or V pop up and then take some kids and hide from the stormtroopers and all. It was fun to see, fun to watch, and I loved it. And if you can, stay till the sun goes down, because everybody likes to get a picture in front of the Millennium Falcon with their new lightsabers. It's kind of the cherry on top to end the whole day on. I thoroughly enjoyed Black Spire Outpost. I can't wait to go again. When you go, make sure you look and listen and just soak it all in and try to take your time, because there is a lot to take in. And also, real quick, the Falcon ride was so much fun. Was fortunate enough to ride it 4 times and was able to be pilot, gunner, and engineer. And I had a blast. But it can be a little aggravating if you don't get a sufficient crew. But, it is what it is. So, bright suns, well bartered, and until the spires.
Continuing with the theme of immersive Star Wars entertainment, we spoke with the creative team behind the upcoming Vader Immortal Episode 2, which is a VR experience.
Now, I'm not much into gaming these days, or since 1982. Not that this can be categorized as a game, and that was one of the questions we asked beforehand. Is this a game? What is this? And they said immersive entertainment.
Wow.
That's awesome. And before we spoke with the creative team here, we saw a short clip, and when Vader gets in your face, yeah, you flinch.
Oh, yeah. It's amazing. And some of the footage from the, the Force Dojo, where you learn how to use the Force. Yeah, you throw a lightsaber, you learn how to, simultaneously use the lightsaber, plus, pull objects toward you or away from you, throw objects. It's really, really cool-looking footage.
Yeah, and there's many times when Vader's speaking to you, and he gets up in your grill.
Mm-hmm.
And, yeah, it's scary.
It's really cool, yeah.
Here we are at Vader Immortal Episode 2, talking to the creative team. Let's go around and introduce yourselves, please.
I'm Ben Snow. I'm the director of Vader Immortal.
Matt Martin, creative executive for the Lucasfilm Story Group.
I'm Jose Perez III, and I'm a supervisor for experience design.
Nice. All right, got loads of questions. First of all, how does Vader Immortal Episode 2 build on the story and technology?
in terms of the story, it starts really right on the heels of Episode 1. So at the end of Episode 1, we finish with Vader in this ancient fortress that is sort of buried beneath Vader's castle on Mustafar. And he sort of says, okay, we're going to go and explore this place, and I'm going to need you to learn the Force. So we start off Episode 2 with Vader starting to instruct you in the ways of the Force, and then leading you in a search for this artifact he's been trying to find in the ancient fortress beneath.
Moving on to Matt, how does Vader Immortal kind of fit within the overall story of Star Wars right now?
So yeah, I mean, everything that we work on is all part of one big timeline, one big story. So it takes place between Episode 3 and Episode 4, or I guess Rogue One. It follows pretty much immediately after, maybe a week or two after Secrets of the Empire, the Void experience, which I'm sure you guys have done.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it starts to tell the story of really kind of some ancient lore that we really haven't been able to explore too much of. Thousands of years ago, what is the deal with that fortress that's underneath Vader's castle, and kind of what has Mustafar been in the past?
How has this built on the technology from Episode 1?
I think there's a number of cool things that we've done, especially on kind of the interactive mechanics for combat. So we've really dug a little bit deeper into that and made sure that it feels better just throughout the story, and really made that just more punchy. And in the lightsaber dojo, we've gone really deep into a bunch of new interactive mechanics where you're throwing the lightsaber and you've got all these cool new force powers and everything. And that was really building off of all of the lessons that we'd learned with just kind of interaction through puzzles and stuff. And we've taken all of that and pivoted it into the force and lightsabers more.
Speaking of the lightsaber dojo, I noticed that we're using the Anakin lightsaber. What's the story behind that?
So the lightsaber,
I saw Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah, so the lightsaber dojo is a meta mode. It's not canon, right? So when you're in the lightsaber dojo, this is a place for you just to have fun, and we have a number of rewards that you can unlock. So you can unlock different lightsabers throughout the eras. Most of them are related to Darth Vader. You can unlock new gloves and things like that. So it's really it's meant to just be a fun side experience that you can do after or kind of during your playthrough of the story experience. You can kind of jump in there for a bit more action if you want it.
Okay, that answers that.
Yeah.
Now I know.
Not canon is the key thing there. Make sure that people don't start thinking.
Gotcha.
So we have holiday special characters jumping in there.
Arthur is in there for sure.
Acme is in there?
Just wait.
You know what? My credit card number is 48762.
Okay, so I know we've played the Void, that experience, and we got to use lightsabers and everything like that. So now that we get to use the Force, is this something that has been greatly requested, or is this just something that you guys wanted to do and build upon the experience?
Greatly requested by us, for sure. Yeah, we really felt like also virtual reality is a great place to be able to play with something like the Force. And Jose and the team have sort of come up with really interesting mechanics with the way that you control it. It's simple, but it's really effective. And you feel like when you're in that lightsaber dojo, you feel like, I'm a Jedi and I'm going to take on all these foes. It's pretty great.
It's something that we always planned on doing. It's not like after Episode 1 we're like, oh, maybe we should throw the Force in there. But it was always like Episode 1 is the lightsaber one and Episode 2 is the Force one.
Okay.
I know everyone has been saying that going to Galaxy's Edge, they've all wanted to pilot the Millennium Falcon, but I think above piloting the Millennium Falcon is using the Force and using a lightsaber in games.
Yeah, that's something that was literally, we've been doing this for a while now, and that's something we've been dreaming about getting in there. And when we finally had it working and you start using the Force and the lightsaber at the same time, it's like goosebump worthy for sure. And you see people just losing it in there because it's the closest we've ever come to really being able to wield a lightsaber hands down, as far as being able to block things back and the combat part of it. So crazy exciting. Yeah.
I'm going to dispute that. Back in 1986, with the Return of the Jedi game,
yeah.
I think that was very, very close.
Oh, that was a good one. It was a good
Atari
one.
2600.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, it was a good one.
Oculus is good too.
Yeah, it's up there. We're getting there. Yeah.
Nice.
Couple more pixels. Yeah.
A couple more pixels.
Yeah, a couple more. Yeah.
I love it. So because you get to use the Force then, what is your favorite Force object to move around? What gives you the most thrill?
For me, it's the lightsaber, right? I mean, it's so fun. Okay, so there's using the Force on droids that are attacking you and picking them up and chucking them around. That's crazy. You feel super powerful for that. But the first time you start throwing the lightsaber and doing that's super cool.
Yeah, for me, it's the same. Like throwing the lightsaber is just, it's kind of that dream that you've always wanted to do. And there's something just really powerful about being in the dojo and just being like, whoopsh.
And you're doing this with the Force? Like you throw it with the Force?
Yeah.
Oh, you pull it back. Okay, cool.
But yeah, it's funny because like I probably look really stupid because I'm just going like this. But oh my god, it's so fun.
How many pieces of furniture have you broken while playing this and testing it out?
That is, I was going to say, my wall has dents, and you get pretty. Actually, the VR headsets we use, you it's pretty safe. You can mark out a place for yourself to play. But when we first started with the dojo, and we actually. Yeah, because one of them doesn't have any wires or anything. You can turn around. You're turning around, and Jose and the team designed the experience so that you're looking behind you. You don't know where the next thing's coming from, so it's real. So you whirl around, and I've knocked a couple of pictures off the walls.
It's when you're at your desk, and that's when it's like you knock all the toys down. But just to be clear, we went through a lot of work to make sure that it is safe, and so we give you boundaries. And if you start to walk out of those boundaries or whatever, we'll
an alarm goes off.
And we'll have you restart the round and things like that. Because it was before we had those boundaries in, it was people got crazy fast. One of our producers, Mark Miller, up there, he was by my desk, and this guy's like 6 something, and it was just like he couldn't hear me. It's like Mark, and he's swinging around. People are ducking under him, like Mark, stop!
Is that when the famous Star Wars klaxon award goes off?
yeah, it just starts happening. Yeah.
So this is not really a game, and it's not really just a walkthrough video. It's a hybrid. Is there a name for this? Interactive narrative.
Yeah,
all right.
I mean, we were talking a lot about the gameplay aspect, but it really is at its heart a narrative experience. And that was what we set out to do, was explore ways of telling stories in virtual reality. But we felt like it was important for you to be part of the story, and the story to, you to be like in Vader Immortal, you're the central character in a way. You're not playing a character, but you are a key part of the story. And so that was really important, and we felt that it was much better having Darth Vader come up and talk to you, and it's imposing and
scary,
but he's paying attention to you. And so it was very different than if you're just standing there and he's having a chat with someone else.
Right. Yeah.
So it's really important to us. And so we wanted to build enough experience in there that you felt, oh yeah, I can interact with the world. And so I'm really, I'm in a way you're one of the main motivating factors for the story, the protagonist. So.
Right. Now, Scott Lawrence, who does a voice in Star Wars Resistance, he's the voice of Darth Vader.
Yes.
And we were just watching a clip. It's like, are you sure that's not James Earl Jones? It has to be. What was your direction on that?
Scott is really great, and we actually had Gary Rydstrom also working with us from Skywalker Sound. We work with them on all of the things. And so Gary has a lot of knowledge about how Darth sounds, and so in the first few sessions, he and Scott would work with us to really get the sound worked out, but Scott also brings a really strong acting ability to it that really comes across, and because you see aspects of Darth Vader that you don't normally get to see, like you see him in some private moments in episode 1, and we get to spend some time alone with him in episode 2, it's good to have that extra. He brings a lot of depth to it. So he really sounds like Darth Vader. And when you experience him in VR, it really feels like it's what you hope. I think what people have said is
it's
like what you hope.
A+. Well, thank you very much to the team of Vader Immortal Episode 2. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you guys.
Do we need to get an Oculus Quest now? Just like we got the Wii when the Star Wars games, when Force Unleashed was being released. Like, okay, gotta get these systems. We played it once.
Yeah. So I don't think so, because we don't spend time playing games. We spend time creating content. So yeah, or like reading, like we have all these books to review and read and stuff. So and interview their authors, which is happening next week.
You know what? Let's convince one of our neighbors to get it.
You know what? My dad's probably gonna get it, and then we can borrow it.
An Oculus Quest.
He already has an Oculus, as far as I know.
He's got an Oculus Quest?
No, he's got an Oculus, I think. Yeah. He finds these great deals where when he buys new phones, he like gets free like Gear 360 or Oculus or whatever. Yeah. So yeah, let's go ask him.
Well, hey, that opens up some doors.
Indeed.
All right. Maybe we can ask our gardener, too, if he's got an Oculus Quest. He's right outside our window.
Yep.
Hey, I'm Mike Quinn, and you may know me as Nine Numb from Star Wars, and I'm Skywalking through Neverland.
Shoutouts, Skywalker shoutouts. Which Skywalkers get props from here in Neverland? Who was tweeted out? Shout out. Who was photobombed? Shout out. Who was shared a post? Shout out. Post.
Well, we posted the video of John Williams at the Hollywood Bowl, and we got a comment on our Facebook post about it from Joanne Suarez Davis. And she says, I took my daughter last night thanks to your post on Saturday. Thank you so much. I had no idea that John Williams was at the Hollywood Bowl, and my girl primarily listens to his music. She is only 15.
Sounds like you.
I know.
Is this your mom writing this?
I know. She is only 15. She literally cried when I told her we were going. We live quite a bit away, but we made the drive there and back last night. Worth every minute to see the pure joy that she had yesterday. So, obviously, this is making me emotional because that was me.
Oh,
isn't that amazing?
That is fantastic.
Yeah. So, thank you, Joanne, for writing that. Like, I'm so glad you and your daughter got to experience him live in concert. Like, I think if I saw him when I was 15, it would have completely blown my mind. I mean, I saw him when I was, 19? So...
Yeah?
A couple years later. Yeah, because when I came out here for college, definitely went to the Hollywood Bowl.
I told you I saw him when I was 11 at the Boston Pops in Boston.
Yeah.
We had a field trip to the Boston Pops just to try to culturize us kids. John Williams passed right by us, and I did the... Is this real? Is this real? I'm not sure if this is real. By the time I came to about my senses, he was like in his car and gone.
Oh my
My teacher later on said, "Oh, did you see John Williams pass by?" It's like, really? You couldn't have smacked me awake? You know what? I will not accuse you of student abuse if you smacked me awake and told me that was John Williams standing right in front of you.
Wow. Amazing.
Yeah, I'll never forget that.
That's so
I got
amazing.
his autograph later on.
Oh.
There was another open house at Boston Pops, and I brought my Star Wars 10th anniversary poster.
Oh!
Brought it over to him, and he signed it.
Oh my goodness!
And this was like 1990.
Whoa!
Mm-hmm. Well, maybe next time we go to a John Williams concert, we can meet Joanne Suarez Davis.
Yeah.
And her 15-year-old daughter.
Or 16.
Or maybe 16.
Yes. Yay. Now, we got a tweet responding to D23 Expo, and this is from @choirboy501. His name is Keith, and he says, so grateful to meet you guys at the Mousetalgia meetup. I grew up in Lakeview in the 70s and was fantastic to meet another Disney Cubbies fan. Have listened before, now a dedicated Skywalking listener. I'm in Honolulu. Wow. Well, thank you, Keith. And at that moment, for that meetup, I was wearing the Fangirls Going Rogue Cubs shirt. You know, so it has like Ewoks as Cubs, like in the Cubs logo of Chicago. So
this was your Celebration Chicago shirt.
Thank you. Yes. My Celebration Chicago Fangirls Going Rogue shirt with little Cubs on it. So that caught his eye, and we started up a fun conversation. So Keith, it was so nice to meet you, and we're so glad you have become a Skywalker.
We also want to mention a couple of other people we ran into at the Mousetalgia meetup, Courtney and Kelly Turkle.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had met them a week earlier at the Haunted Mansion Gala.
Right.
And saw them again at D23 Expo, and we should have these two on the show sometime.
Yeah, I think it'd be really fun. In fact, we saw them a lot, or all around the expo. Like we had all bought our Sleeping Beauty stuff from what is it, Besame Cosmetics. So we were like talking about that. And if you ever want a fun conversation, talk with these two ladies.
Yeah, I gotta have them on because they both sound like Disney princesses.
Yeah, it's great. So Courtney and Kelly, awesome to see you guys again, and hope to have more conversations with you.
Just don't show Sarah your very expensive makeup.
I was going to get it anyway.
Thank you, Courtney and Kelly. We'll have you on the show real soon.
All right. Well, thank you. We love our shout outs. And in fact, Skywalkers, if you want to write in or tweet us or anything like that, just do it, because we love to hear how you guys are affected by this show, our podcast, or our YouTube videos. It's so, as a creator, we just love hearing how you guys listen or how it affects you. And it's just so gratifying.
All right. Now let's catch up with Ric Peralta of LiningUp.net. Hard to believe we're getting the end of the Skywalker saga in just a few months. Not only are we really looking forward to this final chapter, but we're also excited to see friends in line.
LiningUp.net has just begun organizing this year's Lining Up event at the TCL Chinese Theater IMAX here in Hollywood. And here to tell us the latest details is organizer Ric Peralta.
Hey, Rick.
Hey, Richard and Sarah. Great to talk to you guys again.
Good to talk to you, too. So it sounds like you've been busy lately, but
definitely.
Before we get into all those details, I know the Skywalkers have heard us talk endlessly about how much fun we have with LiningUp.net while we're waiting for a new Star Wars film. But for the new Skywalkers, can you tell them what Lining Up is all about?
Well, absolutely. So we actually formed out of... of course, everyone remembers back in '99 there was such excitement for the Phantom Menace, and a group led by an Australian guy named Lincoln created this organization called Counting Down, and they wanted to do a massive lineup at the Chinese theater at the time, Mann's Chinese Theater, because of course, well, that's like Mecca for a Star Wars fan. And they organized this big, massive line. It lasted for 6.5 weeks. We grew out of that. Almost as soon as the line was over with, a group of us got together. I was not with the group at the time, but we were like, this is so much fun. We have to do this again. Counting Down no longer exists. But there was, if we're going to be doing the same thing, but kind of the opposite way, there was Counting Down, so we'll be lining up, and that's how we were born. And so now we've been doing this. This is our 20th anniversary as a lining organization, exclusively for Star Wars films. We're very excited to be doing this big show, the end of the saga, the end of our first 20 years. And I do say first 20 years because we're not going away. As long as there's Star Wars movies, we're going to be out there camping out.
So now, what are your plans for the upcoming Return of Skywalker? Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah, you're mixing up your ends of saga.
Yeah.
Well, I want the Skywalkers to return. Don't go away.
Yeah, so obviously, being the 20th anniversary, we've been kind of planning this from the moment we finished with the Solo line. We started realizing, hey, this is going to be a big deal. This is the 20th anniversary of us. You know, this is a big deal. It's the end of the saga. We have to go big. So we're still planning to go big. And as you recall, the Last Jedi line was kind of epic in terms of the scale that we did, bringing in people like Kevin Smith to launch the line. And we're intending to go that same kind of scale, maybe even a notch or two up from that this time around. We definitely have several little surprises I don't want to say too much about, but I do know that anyone who's been with the organization for any period of time has experienced one or two of the lines. You're going to be blown away by what's going to be happening during the line and in the theater.
Can you give us a small hint about one of the surprises? Give us a tease of a tease.
I guess I could say, as you may recall, during the prequel era of our organization, there were documentaries made about us.
Oh.
And there might be something kind of along those lines happening.
Ooh. Well, that's fun.
Yeah. I mean, you guys really deserve it. Not only are we just lining up and meeting up with friends and such, but you're doing a great service with Starlight Children's Foundation and raising money.
Absolutely. You know, I mean, the Starlight Children's Foundation has been our charity since '99. We've worked exclusively with them over the years. We're very proud of our partnership with them, and we like to think that they're very excited and proud of their relationship with us. So since '99, across all of our lines, we have now raised about $117,000 for them.
Wow.
You know, we help make this happen, but it's the line members that are the ones that are contributing. It's the Star Wars community. I mean, you look at what the 501st does, what the Rebel Legion does. Star Wars fandom has always been about giving back to charity, and that's what we do.
I always feel bad for the people who walk by us and go, "You're just waiting in line?" No, you ignorant fool. We're raising money for the Starlight Children's Foundation. Now put a couple of bucks in the till and get in line.
And we're having fun and making friends
Yeah,
too.
exactly. Seeing friends from all over the world, and that's one of the greatest parts about it. We're seeing friends from all parts of the world.
Yes.
Absolutely, because we do have line members from quite literally just about every continent. I don't think we've had anyone from Antarctica yet, but we're working on it. And the thing is that, yes, I think especially in the prequel days, it was a little harder to bridge that gap, and people just mocked us. But in the sequel era, the press has been much more understanding of what we're doing, and I think the organization and the line members have gotten much better at spreading the word. If somebody comes up to start mocking us, we twist it on them and say, well, we're doing this for a charity, and we're doing it, and we raised this much money, and we're here for a cause. And more often than not, people end up throwing a couple bucks into the till and saying, well, here you go. Thanks for the good work. And that's the spreading the message. That's what we're trying to do. It's, yes, we're fans. Yes, we're doing this because we love the movie, but we're also doing it for a great reason.
Does it work? Did I call them ignorant fools? I think so, because people mock what they don't understand. So, it just shines a light on their deficiency of understanding.
Yeah.
There's a new tagline for you.
Yeah, there you go. What the Jedi's role is to educate and expose and to teach, right? And that's what we're trying to do.
Yep.
Absolutely. And now every line, you have a different t-shirt design so people can proudly show off that they have been there. Can you tell us about the new t-shirt design for this year's line?
Of course. So we're very excited about this year's t-shirt design. We just dropped it 2 days ago. That was a Thursday of last week. And again, for all of the sequel movies, we've actually had our t-shirts designed by line member and amazing graphic designer Brian Lee. And he did it again for us this time. And it's a beautiful, like, sunset toned logo. It is a silhouette of Rey inside the helmet of Kylo Ren. For the front of the design, the back of the design is the collection of droids with the spires of the Chinese behind it. And at the bottom, we are indicating, of course, that this is the 20th anniversary, and tying in the very first shirt design, which was a yield sign from a street that had Darth Maul in it. And so the 0 in the 20th is the Darth Maul silhouette. So it's just we're bringing back in some of those great moments and those things that people remember that have been involved from the beginning. This has been one constant, continuous group that may have evolved and morphed. We've lost people, we've added people, we've had kids grow up in the line and become organizers. So it's been we want to cherish the history that we've created.
Definitely. And I know part of that design, it was interesting to me when I saw the Rey silhouette. It reminded me of the Mandalorian silhouette.
Yeah, I haven't asked Brian to see if that was an inspiration for him or if it just happened that way.
Yeah,
because I know that he started working on this design quite a while ago. We've seen mock-ups and changes within the organizing staff as he's been developing it over probably the last 6 months at least. So yeah, we've been working on this a long time.
That's cool. I think it's a subconscious thing, honestly, like with Star Wars fans.
Yeah, it definitely there's something iconic about that kind of silhouette approach.
Rey's image inside of Kylo Ren's helmet. Are you predicting something, Rick?
We'll have to ask Brian. Yeah, and again, I want to emphasize this for all of the Skywalkers out there listening, because you've got an audience across the planet too. Even if you cannot be a member in line, even if you can't make it to join us, you can still support us. We take donations online at our website. We take, if you purchase these t-shirts, if you purchase the line badges, any of the things that we make along the way, that's all going back to the charity as well. We make no profit off of anything that's going on here. So if you are a friend of the line in Florida and you'd love to have that iconic t-shirt, You can order it. We are doing things a little differently this year with our t-shirts. We actually want to get everyone, if possible, to sign up at our Eventbrite page, which should be launching right about the time that you drop this episode. They will be able to, it's going to be a flat price for these shirts that includes shipping. So we are going to ship those direct to you so you can have that shirt first day line.
And where do they get these shirts?
We will be offering those. Obviously, you can go to our website, to our Facebook page. We're going to be dropping the information as it comes out. But we are going to have an Eventbrite sign up so that we can get an approximation of head count on how many tickets we're going to need. And we'll also be able to, you'll be able to essentially pre-purchase your tickets and then also buy your line badge and your t-shirt all at the same time. So you can have all that stuff for you as soon as you get there.
So just to confirm, they search liningup.net on Facebook, correct?
That's probably the first and foremost place to get the information. That's where we update things most frequently.
Great.
And what is the website to liningup.net?
Liningup.net.
Nice.
How much support do you get from Lucasfilm or those associated with Star Wars for your events?
Of course, there's never been any official support, but they certainly are very aware of us. Over the years, even going back to 99, when I was lining up in San Francisco for the same organization, it wasn't like official support, but they were definitely supporting us. They were coming by and talking to us. They were giving us freebies in line. And that kind of stuff has happened to some extent in every line we've ever done, at the Chinese as well. Certainly, I know I've talked to Andy Gutierrez quite a bit when I've met her. And she's very much aware of us and is excited about what we do. I keep trying to get her to come down and actually visit the line. So hopefully that'll happen one of these times.
Yeah, maybe it'll be on the Star Wars show.
Yeah, that would love to be on the Star Wars show. I know Eliza would love that too. And they have given us a few things, especially for the Last Jedi line. And I think the Rogue One line, they had given us some like Force for Change wristbands and things like that for our swag bags.
Nice.
Yeah, and I know Ray Park came down for the Episode 1 line. Steve Stanton came down for the Rogue One line.
Yeah, Steve Stanton is and Ray Park are both big friends of the line. Ray Park has actually visited every line we've done. He's very much a fan of us and a friend of us.
Vanessa Marshall bought us pizza last time for The Last Jedi.
Pizza. Yeah, Vanessa Marshall's bought pizza for each of the sequel lines. And she's actually been in the theater with us for The Force Awakens. Her schedule keeps getting in the way to join us for the others. Mm-hmm. Hopefully that'll change again this time. Stephen Stanton is his charity of choice. He's a huge guy with Starlight Children's Foundation. He's worked with them for decades. So he loves working with us and kind of spreading the word. He's great at whenever we post anything, sharing that information out to get it to his fan base as well. Yeah, of course, Ray Park, he's been a very close friend of the line all the way back to the Phantom Menace. So he's been with us forever. He's done little lightsaber battles with the kids and even the adults who want to be kids. It's a blast to see him every time. Daniel Logan's come down and visited the line a couple times.
Oh,
yeah.
You always have an opportunity to meet some Star Wars celebrities when you join us. Even for the Force Awakens line, Anthony Daniels was down there with us. Everyone got a chance to take pictures, and he chatted with us about the footprint ceremony. For R2 and 3PO out there, and how those actually weren't 3PO's feet because his real feet wouldn't work. So it little tips. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, they had them resculpted because the bottom of the screen used 3PO's feet didn't have any details.
No, just
so they had to resculpt them so they would leave an actual footprint.
Exactly.
Yeah, Daniel Logan came by our roundtable recap for The Last Jedi. That was fun.
Right,
yeah, Ray Park came by, but it wouldn't say anything. Yeah. For Solo. For Solo.
Yes. That was amazing.
Yeah, I know. Daniel Logan's very much excited to. He's never going to stop pushing to see if he can get that Fett thing happen for himself. But we love him, and he's come down and he's judged costume contests that the theater's thrown before. He's very much a great friend of the line as well.
Nice.
Now, this is almost going to be the last event for Lining Up for a while, since future stories are going to Disney Plus. Is this bittersweet for you, or do you just need a break?
It's I can't help but feel like there's never an ending in Star Wars. There's always you can have a wrap up of a story, but there's always another story. And while this might be the end of the Skywalker saga, it's not the end of Star Wars films. We know that there'll be more things happening. there is something a little bittersweet. And especially as we've always planned, really since the beginning of the sequel trilogy, that the end of the sequel trilogy would essentially be the end for this particular current organization group, and we would essentially go into a retired emeritus state and let the next generation take over. So there is that little bit of bittersweetness. At the same time, it is exhausting putting these things on, and to be able to breathe and just enjoy being in the line at some point would be nice.
Yeah, that's very true.
So does Eliza know that you're passing the torch to her?
Oh yeah, she knows that 20 years from now, 10 years from now, actually, probably she'll be the organizers while she's in college.
You know what? We can always do this. In November, we can have a liningup.net event at our house so people can line up for Disney Plus.
Oh.
On November 12th, everyone come on in. Mandalorian's going to start in 5 minutes.
Oh my God, that would be so much fun.
That'd be a blast.
Wow.
Yeah, going from Hollywood to Long Beach.
There you go.
Not a far trek.
Well, let's look back a little bit. You've now had 20 years of great memories with the line. Is there any specific memory that will stick with you forever?
Oh man. Yeah, exactly. I mean, there's so many intense experiences that have happened. Honestly, as controversial as Last Jedi seems to be in the fandom community, the experience of Rian Johnson coming into that theater and the reaction of that crowd having him there was almost too hard to contain, to express just how amazing that was.
It was great when Ryan told the reporters and the news crews, "Hey guys, back off. I'm here for the fans."
Yes.
That was awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and I think a lot of those experiences that really flash back for me are about these celebrities who were truly there for us. They didn't care about the press there. They were there for us. You know, it's Ray Park sitting in the theater with us during Solo when he shows up on screen, and we like, how did you keep that from us? And,
I know.
To having even it's not even Star Wars related. Going back to the Attack of the Clones line when Elijah Wood and Sean Astin just stopped by the line because they'd seen us on the news. Aww. And we had the Hobbits there hanging out with us, and we got them tickets, and they sat with us in the theater during the movie. You know, they signed everyone's line badges. They didn't care about the press. They were there for us. And those are the amazing, touching moments that really stick with me. Every line has had something like that.
Yeah. So I can't wait to see what's happening for Rise of Skywalker. Maybe George will show up?
I think we can always dream, but I'm not going to hold out my hopes for that. Unless you're talking about my cosplay. Yeah. Then maybe.
If we don't have George Lucas, we have Ric Peralta, the ultimate George Lucas lookalike.
Absolutely.
So let's reiterate how Skywalkers can join liningup.net and come join us down in line in December.
Or even just contribute.
Absolutely. So first and foremost, you can find us very easily liningup.net. Just do a search on Facebook. You can also find us on Twitter, liningup.net, Instagram, liningup.net. You can find us anywhere. We send out most of our information at the Facebook page, so you will find the greatest details there, the events that you can sign on to there. You can register that you want to be attending, and then we will be posting our Eventbrite connection there, hopefully by the time this episode drops.
Okay.
Perfect.
And if anyone wants to reach out to you personally, how do they do that?
Of course. Well, as you guys know, I am in a kilt whenever I can be, so I am Kilt to Jedi Rick. That's R-I-C. I don't use a K. And you can find me there at that name, at obviously on Twitter. You can find me there on Instagram. And I am just Ric Peralta on Facebook. I'm happy to be a friend with any of you. And I also want to point out a sidebar, because, of course, I am the official optician for Skywalking Through Neverland. I am an eyeglass professional, and I also have the Optical Jedi account that you can find in all those places as well. If you are curious about eyewear, I can help you out there.
And he's very, very good. I walk in, and he's got like 3 sets of eyeglasses already picked out, and they all fit perfectly, and then I have to buy 2.
If it weren't for Rick, I wouldn't be able to be looking at these notes right now, or look at my iPhone at a moment's notice, or post during a John Williams concert.
Indeed.
It's all owed to Ric Peralta, the Optical Jedi.
See, there would be no Skywalking Through Neverland if it weren't for me.
We get that a lot. All right, Rick. Well, thank you very much. Much appreciated. We'll see you in just a few months down in line.
Yeah, I can't wait for it. It was great to talk to you guys again.
That wraps up episode 259 of
Skywalking Through Neverland. This just in, it's now 99 degrees in this room. So we want to thank the Imagineers at D23 Expo and the creative team behind Vader Immortal Episode 2 and Ric Peralta of LiningUp.net for talking with us on this episode. And we also want to thank all of you SkyTubers for watching our live stream and everyone for watching our videos and listening to our shows and commenting and supporting in the Skywalking Force. All you all, one big happy Wookiee hug.
We'd also like to thank our sponsor, Small World Vacations. Are you guys thinking of a trip to Disney parks? Well, you can just head to smallworldvacations.com and fill out a Get a Quote form and tell them that Skywalking Through Neverland sent you. And remember, it's free of charge. And as a reminder, please check out our YouTube channel. We have several videos from D23 Expo, from the panels, and from cosplay and everything. And we also have our John Williams at the Hollywood Bowl video, which is so special.
And we'll be shooting some more videos coming up in the week. Can't wait.
Now, please check out all the rest of the shows on the Skywalking Network, including the Culture Popcast and Sabers and Spells. You can find us all at skywalkingthroughneverland.com. And once again, huge thank you for everyone who is part of the Skywalking Force. And another reminder for those of you at the $10 or more per month level, there's a new episode of the Skywalking Force straight from the Hollywood Bowl. We wore those binaural mics the whole concert, so it's like you are there walking into the Hollywood Bowl with us. You get to sit down and hear the concert. You get to talk with us during intermission, and then you get to hear the whole entire rest of the concert. So it's really cool. And if you would like to join the Skywalking Force, head to skywalkingforce.com.
You can also find Skywalking Through Neverland at jedinews.co.uk and at Bantha Tracks.
You can also follow us on social media or tweet at us or whatever you want. We are at Skywalking Pod for Twitter and Instagram. We have our Facebook group, which has a lot of fun discussions and conversations right there. So head to Facebook and search Skywalking Through Neverland group and request to join. You can also email share@skywalkingthroughneverland.com.
And we'd love to hear your reviews over there at Apple Podcasts or Stitcher. And if you're going to review from another country, let us know.
Yeah.
Because we have to go searching for those particular reviews. Only the American reviews will populate.
Right.
Let us know what you think. We want to hear from you Skywalkers. Now, stay tuned for bloopers and fun conversations that didn't fit in the show right after these credits. And always remember to never talk during a John Williams concert.
Never.
And...
or you get a death glare from me.
And...
a maleficent death glare.
And...
Neverland on Alderaan.
Some imagination, huh?
To our Skywalkers and Tweetwalkers, thanks for listening. Skywalking Through Neverland is created and produced by Richard and Sarah Woloski. Original music by Rob Dellinger. Creative consultant Mark Augushowitz. Technical advisor Peter Heitman. Facebook administrators Donald Wicks, Joey Pittman, and Norma Heitman.
Skywalking Through Neverland is intended for entertainment and information purposes only. Any sounds, music, and clips played during this podcast are the property of their copyright holders. All original content is property of Skywalking Through Neverland, all rights reserved. Sorry, had to be said.
See what I did there?
You didn't do it.
I didn't.
You faked me out.
I did.
And for the first 3-4 minutes, I didn't know the orchestra was playing.
Oh, wow.
I thought they were showing a bit from the movie, and then they would get into something, but there was no segue into it. And they played the scene from E.T. where I guess it's from the beginning of the movie. I haven't seen it in so long, where you see a whole gaggle of E.T.s.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember ever seeing a gaggle of E.T.s in E.T.
I remember that when I saw E.T. when I was 4, I saw the scene and I was out. It freaked me out with his glowing heart running through the woods, and the music there is so intense. I think that's what really freaked me out was the music.
Yeah.
And so I didn't fully see E.T. the movie all the way through until I was 14.
Oh, I didn't see it all the way through until 2 years ago.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and I didn't know that his E.T. buddies left him behind.
Oh, yeah. Isn't that mean?
Why would he want to go home after that? Like, I can't believe you guys left me here on this world.
Oh.
You guys didn't take a head count?
Yeah, E.T. did creep me out as a kid, too. E.T.'s scary.
E.T.'s scary now.
Yeah.
Like when we went to the E.T. ride in Universal Studios Orlando, they still have the E.T. ride shoved way in the corner. And I asked one of the ride operators, do any kids know who E.T. is? And like, no, it's all their parents. And whenever kids see the E.T. standing in the gift shop, yeah, it freaks them out. All right, let's do the intro again.
Yeah. We both Yes, I just said that.
Hey, hashtag. Don't make everyone
Sarah
hashtag.
swears.
All right. But we're also excited to see Friends in Line.
That sounded the same.
Okay. But we're also excited to see Friends in Line.
Friends in Line.
But we're also excited to see Friends in Line. All right, we're good. Bright Sun. Don't even tell me that's not a reference to the Ewoks animated series. Matt?
It is not.
Oh,
it is
come on.
I'm sorry,
Matt.
but it's not.
But can you sing the theme song?
We
To the
are
Ewoks? I prefer the droids theme song.
Ewoks, and we're one big happy family. How do you top that?
No, the droids theme song's better.
Oh, that's
Stuart Copeland?
Oh,
from
yeah,
Police?
definitely. In trouble again. Matt, take it away.
No, I'm not doing it. Even I have a mic, it's like I want to, but I'm not doing it.
I grew up in Lakeview, which is Wrigleyville. Bleh. Okay, let me start that over again. Holy buckets. All right, outtakes. This one kid, the whole concert, had been like, like and it was 2 rows behind us too. This kid was loud.
All right, with that, all right. Bye-bye, Skywalker.
Bye.
See you next time.